All right, in example 2, we've got a bin of in the electronics department that contains 100 blank DVDs, of which 10 are known to be defective. Okay, but they're all mixed up. If a customer selects 6 DVDs at random, determine the probability that exactly 2 of them are defective. Okay, so first thing we need to do is figure out what is the number in our sample space. So essentially, how many possible outcomes do we have? Okay, so we have 100 DVDs, and we're going to select 6 of them. If we don't really care whether we're selecting defective or non-defective DVDs, then the number of ways to choose those DVDs is 100 choose 6. Okay. So now I'm not going to actually calculate that right now. I'm just going to leave it as 100 choose 6. And then I'm going to look at the event that I'm interested in. The event that I'm interested in is the case where we get exactly 2 of them that are defective. Okay, so we want to choose 2 defectives, right? To do this, we're gonna choose 2 defective DVDs and 4 non-defective, right? Because we're still gonna choose 6. All right, so let's think about how we're gonna do that. Our probability, I'm just gonna go ahead and put this into our probability equation, but we need to figure out the numerator, right? How are we going to choose 2 defective and 4 non-defective DVDs? Well, we're just going to use combinations, okay? So we have 10 defective DVDs to choose from, and we're going to choose 2 of them, okay? And then how many are left? If we want to choose 4 non-defective DVDs, all right? So we're going to eliminate the defective ones. Okay, we're kind of assuming that we have control over the situation, right? But we just want to know how many ways there are to do this, right? How many ways can we choose 2 defectives and 4 non-defectives? Okay, so if we're choosing 2 defectives, we have a pool of 10 to choose them from. So 10 choose 2, and then we have to choose the non-defective DVDs. There's 100 total. If we eliminate the defective ones, then we just have 90 non-defective DVDs, and we're going to choose 4 of them. Okay, and then we're just going to divide all that by the total number of ways to choose the DVDs without any restrictions, right? So we have 100 choose 6. All right, so let's see, we got to calculate that. Now I'm probably going to make a little video on how you can use your calculator. I think for a lot of these, if you want to use your calculator, the functions on your calculators to do this, I think that's fine. But I'm just gonna, for this particular case, I'm just going to write it all out. I don't know if all of you have a calculators that have the combination and permutation features on them. So let's just go ahead and do 10 choose 2. That's just going to be 10 times 9 over 2 times 1, right? And then we have 90 choose 4, right? So that's 90 times 89 times 88 times 87, right? All over 4 factorial, which is 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, okay? Now, this combination of 100 things taken 6 at a time in the denominator is also a fraction, right? It's going to be 100 times 99 times 98 and so on, all over 6 factorial. But I'm just going to, because I know that dividing by a fraction is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal, okay? So I'm putting the denominator on top, right? 6 times 5, that's the 6 factorial, times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, all over 100 times 99 times 98 times 97 times 96. And I think I need a 95 in there, okay? And then, if you put that in your calculator, you get it gets a little messy, and it's a little messy either way. You got to cancel common factors. Like I can see right now, it's 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. I can cancel those common factors, right? And then I can look for other ways to reduce it. But if I put it into my calculator, this is what I get. I get 0.09646. Okay, so I'm just rounding off to 5 decimal places, usually for written homework, or it's good enough for me. In Wiley, they'll specify what they want, how many decimal places they want, and you have to be really careful because they'll be really picky as far as rounding. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the next question. We want to know what what's the probability of getting at least one defective. Okay, so when we say at least one, right, we're choosing 6 DVDs, so at least one is 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. Now, I could calculate all of those cases, all the probability of the number of ways to get exactly 1, exactly 2, exactly 3, exactly 4, exactly 5, exactly 6. That's a lot of work. The key thing to recognize here is that the opposite of what we want is no defective DVDs. Okay? And then we can use complementary counting to determine this probability. So the easy way to do it is to first of all calculate the probability of the complement of what you want, right? A complement of at least 1 is no defective DVDs. Okay, so we want to calculate the probability of getting no defective DVDs. So the number of ways to do that, the number of ways to get no DVDs, is to choose just from the non-defective DVDs. And we have 90 non-defective DVDs, and we're going to choose 6 of them. But then the total number of ways is still that 100 choose 6, right? That'll give us the total number of ways to choose DVDs without restrictions. And so I'm going to assume that you can just put this into your calculator and use the combination function in your calculator to calculate this. When you do it, you get 0.5223, so about a 52% chance that you get no defective DVDs. Okay, so then what's the probability of the event that we do want, which is at least one defective. Okay, so we know there's a 100% chance that something's going to happen, right? You're either going to get no defective DVDs or you're going to get at least 1 defective DVDs. So if we take 1 and subtract the probability of what we don't want, the opposite of what we want, we'll get the probability of what we do want. So that comes out to be 0.4777, or 47.8%. Okay, so that's our answer to that question. All right, and the last part of this question is we want to know what's the probability that exactly 3 of them will be defective. Now this is one where you might want to pause the video, try it yourself. We did exactly 2 up here. Was our first question, so this is very similar, only it's exactly 3 this time. All right, so hopefully you've tried that yourself, and so let's do it. All right, so we want to know the probability of the event where we get exactly 3 defective DVDs. Okay. All right, so let's think about this. We have 10 defective DVDs, right? We need to choose 3 of them. Okay, so 10 choose 3. But then we have to still choose another 3 DVDs. But this time we want to eliminate the defective ones and just choose from the non-defective ones, right? Because we want exactly 3. Exactly 3, no more defective DVDs. All right, so you need to then take the 90 that are non-defective and choose 3 of them. Okay, if you multiply those 2 together, then you get the total number of ways to select exactly 3 defective DVDs. And then we need to divide that by the total number of ways to select the DVDs, which is 100 to 6. 100 to 6. Again, I'm just going to put this into my calculator. All right, 0.1183. So that is my probability, about 11.8% chance of getting exactly 3 defective DVDs. All right. Well, you can see example 3. This is one that you should, give it some practice. Try it yourself. And then I'll meet you in the next video to go through it.